Earlier this hour, polls closed in the primary for Wisconsin's Supreme Court. Voters are choosing between 4 different candidates to replace a soon-to-be-retired conservative justice. Now, conservatives on the court have a 4-3 majority right now. They've controlled the state Supreme Court for the past 14 years. And because of the near constant deadlock between Democratic Governor Tony Evers and a legislature where Republicans hold a supermajority, justices on that bench have essentially become the arbiters on issues from absentee voting to public health emergencies to upholding the 2020 presidential election results. And tonight, the balance of that bench hangs, well, in the balance. To understand the gravity of even the possibility of changing the political leanings of the state high court, take a look at this map. This is considered one of the most gerrymandered maps in the country. It is Wisconsin's state legislative district map. This is the version drawn by the state assembly in 2021. In March of 2022, the Supreme Court decided Wisconsin could not use Governor Evers' preferred map. So this was the approved version, the one drawn by the state assembly. Let's take a closer look at 2 assembly districts in particular on their map. On the left are the old versions of these districts before they were redrawn by the assembly in 2021. On the right are their redrawn versions. Republicans won both districts in 2022, one narrowly and the other in a landslide. Skewed maps like these have suppressed the number of competitive state assembly seats in every election cycle. Because of rigged maps like these, Wisconsin Republicans have had almost a monopoly on the legislature. They've pushed Democrats into a smaller number of solidly Democratic blue districts, and thereby ensuring that Republicans will always maintain a majority of seats. Here's a case in point. In the 10 closest state assembly races Republicans won in 2022, the margin was 7.5 points. For the 10 closest races Democrats won, the margin was 15.2 points. Now, we know that the state of Wisconsin is deeply, sharply divided along partisan lines. 4 of the last 6 presidential elections were decided by less than a single percentage point. But the fact that year after year, elections keep resulting in a staunchly Republican legislature, that is a pretty good sign that something is off with the district maps. And Wisconsin voters could take a step towards solving that problem tonight. After their votes are counted, the top 2 vote-getters will advance to the April 4th general election. There are 2 liberals and 2 conservatives on the ticket today. As long as at least one liberal advances, there's a good chance that that person might win in April, flipping the court to a liberal majority. If that happens, experts all but guarantee that Democrats will bring cases challenging those apparently fishy, redrawn legislative maps. And by the way, the courts also expect to weigh in on Wisconsin's zombie abortion ban that makes it a felony to perform an abortion, except to save the life of the mother. Despite being dormant for the past 49 years, that ban went into effect last summer after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. That zombie ban has been tied up in the courts ever since. A liberal Wisconsin Supreme Court could ensure that people seeking abortions in that state are not totally barred from access. So a lot hinges on the balance of Wisconsin's highest court. And tonight is the first night we may catch a glimpse of where it is all headed.